Hi, my name's Joseph Rosa, and in just a moment, I'm going to share with you a bizarre but completely true story about how a terrifying late-night encounter with a hooded man at a train station in Connecticut left my sister fighting for her life while I performed emergency CPR on her, covered in another man's blood and facing a charge of attempted murder. And how this most traumatic and frightening night of my entire life led me to stumble upon the real secret to obliterating fat and achieving quick and long-term weight loss, a discovery that would, in fact, save my 43-year-old sister's life, helping her lose a staggering 35 pounds and go from this to this in just 33 days. In this highly controversial presentation, I'm going to reveal how this brand new fat-busting treatment works, how you can put it into practice starting today, and I'm also going to show you scientific proof published in countless peer-reviewed medical journals around the globe that proves beyond all doubt how this treatment will melt away unwanted fat, shave inches off your waist, thighs, butt, and belly, and transform your health, energy levels, and life expectancy in a few short weeks. This stunning research, which I believe to be the biggest weight loss breakthrough of the 21st century, has been proven to work time and time again, whether you are female or male, no matter your body type, or whether you're 28, 38, or even 58. And without the need to bust your hump at the gym, make yourself miserable on restrictive starvation diets, or risk your health and well-being on expensive, side effect-ridden weight loss drugs, which, as I will explain later, will never work anyway. Plus, in the next 2.5 minutes, I will be revealing the hidden truth behind your weight gain, including the 3 sinister lies about weight loss that unwittingly trap you in a never-ending cycle of yo-yo dieting that is ultimately destroying your health. I'll also be lifting the lid on the 3 most common healthy breakfast foods that actually make you fat, the shocking truth about so-called diet foods, the one vegetable you should never eat if you want to fight the flab, and I'll give you the skinny on a little-known secret mineral that has been clinically proven to shrink fat cells. Now, if you think this all sounds a little too good to be true, it's important to know that as a personal trainer and weight loss expert, I've been able to help exactly 47,763 men and women across America to lose life-changing amounts of weight in a matter of weeks and dramatically improve their health using this breakthrough treatment. People like Mary Darlow of Flint, Michigan, who lost 27 pounds in less than 6 weeks. And Jared Simmons of Newark, Delaware, who lost a huge 23 pounds in 7 weeks. And Jess Taylor of Erie, Pennsylvania, a new client to this program, who lost an insane 21 pounds in her first 3 weeks. Those are just a few of the many thousands of men and women who have contacted me with their success stories in the past few weeks after putting this treatment into action, and I'll be sharing some more with you a little later. But before I get to that, I need to warn you about something. With obesity on the rise, big pharma and the weight loss industry are getting richer and richer, while Americans get fatter and fatter. As a personal trainer and nutritionist, I've been writing and reporting about these two industries for years, fighting against the odds to expose the real truth, and I've been making a lot of very rich people very mad. The truth is something I'm certain your doctor is clueless about, that there's a simple, inexpensive, and 100% natural way for you to quickly and easily strip away pounds of unsightly fat from the comfort of your own home, and do it without dangerous surgery, without a single expensive drug, without the need for any useless diet plans or crazy workout regimes, and without having to spend a single cent if you don't want to. And I'll be revealing how this is possible in just a moment. So I urge you to watch every single second of this presentation. Because if you're sick and tired of staring at that wobbly spare tire in your midsection every day, if you're fed up at being constantly confused and frustrated by all the contradictory weight loss advice in the media, if you're feeling embarrassed and depressed at your current weight, if you're worried that your wife, husband, or partner isn't finding you as attractive as they used to, if you're concerned that your ever-expanding waistline could leave you vulnerable to life-threatening health conditions like heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, osteoarthritis, and a whole host of cancers, to name just a few. And if your confidence and self-esteem is at rock bottom because you hate the way you look, but just don't know how to reverse your spiraling weight gain, then put whatever plans you have on hold for just a few more minutes. Sit back and make yourself comfortable, because by the end of this presentation, you will know exactly what you need to do to melt away fat, transform your health, dramatically increase your life expectancy, and boost your energy and vitality in a few short weeks from now. Just imagine how that would feel for a moment. To be able to fit into clothes that you haven't worn in years. To wake up in the morning abundant with energy. To look in the mirror and love what you see. to finally feel confident, happy, and proud of your body? Well, all of this is within your reach. You just need to keep watching. Hi, as I mentioned earlier, my name is Joseph Rosa and I live in Stamford, Connecticut. 39 years old, and for the last 10 years, I've been working as a personal trainer and sports nutritionist, helping people lose weight, get in shape, and improve their health. But what I didn't realize until recently was that I'd been doing everything wrong. Yeah, I admit it. I thought I knew everything there was to know about nutrition and weight loss, until a bizarre meeting with a disgraced former medical student from Hyderabad in India finally put me on the right path. In just a moment, I promise to reveal this completely natural fat-burning secret, how you can start using it yourself in no more than a few minutes from now, and I'm also going to show you all the scientific research that explains why and how it works so well. Plus, I'm going to tell you about those 3 sinister weight loss lies that are spreading around the weight loss community, the 3 most common healthy breakfast foods that secretly make you fat, and a lot more. But before I do, I bet you're a little curious about how I stumbled upon this breakthrough method that not only saved my own sister's life by enabling her to lose a whopping 35 pounds in just 33 days, but has since helped over 47,000 Americans to lose life-changing amounts of weight themselves. Now, I must warn you, what you're about to hear will genuinely shock you and make you extremely angry. And to be honest, this isn't easy for me to talk about, so please bear with me if I have an embarrassing breakdown mid-sentence. But it's important that you hear this story, because despite having no obvious health problems, my sister's weight gain had made her a ticking time bomb, ripe for a heart attack. And what you need to realize is that you could suffer the same fate if you don't do anything to tackle your weight gain now, before it's too late. And whatever you do, don't fall into the trap of trying any of those hyped up weight loss fad diets or any other scams, because, as you'll soon discover, these programs are actually part of the problem that has led to America's obesity epidemic, and I'll be exposing just why in a minute. I'll also reveal how seeing my own beautiful sister almost die in my arms set me on the path to discovering the miracle weight loss system that she and thousands of others have enjoyed ever since. Now, up until a few years ago, I'd never given a second thought about my sister's health. Jane was overweight, sure, but I never thought of her as being fat or unhealthy or anything like that. But underneath the surface, life-threatening visceral fat, the worst kind of fat there is, was rapidly collecting around Jane's vital organs, while a dangerous substance called plaque was building up inside her coronary arteries and was starting to restrict the supply of oxygenated blood to her heart. But of course, we didn't know this at the time. Jane was active, happy, and full of life, constantly running around after her 2 daughters, Alex and Sarah. But all that changed on one terrifying night last year that will stay with me forever. After our mom died from a heart attack, brought about by type 2 diabetes at the age of just 57, I'd been spending a lot of time with Jane and her family. That night, I'd taken her to the cinema, and after, we went out for dinner. By the time we left the restaurant, it was late, around 11:30 p.m., and the train station was deserted. I remember it well. It was cold, wet, and miserable. We got in a lift into town with some friends, so we didn't have a ticket to get back home. I told Jane I'd go get the tickets from the kiosk, and she went ahead to wait at the platform, which was over the other side of the train tracks. And then it happened, the worst moment of my entire life. As I was buying the tickets, I heard shouting and screaming from the platform. It sounded like Jane. I sprinted up the stairs, and what I saw was the most horrific sight I could ever imagine. 2 hooded men were attacking my sister. They had charged at her like crazed animals. Their bloodshot eyes were all I could see under their dark hoods. She was on the floor, screaming, desperately trying to fight them off. She tried to run, but it was like her feet were stuck in concrete. She tried to move her arms, but they felt like lead weights. It was truly a living nightmare. As the men attacked her, her breathing became more and more difficult, gasping for each precious breath as her vision started to blur. Then, she felt a sharp, agonizing stabbing pain in her chest. She was having a heart attack, even though she was only 43 years old. I sprinted up the stairs as fast as my legs would carry me, a surge of adrenaline pumping through my veins, my whole body shaking with rage, shouting at the top of my lungs for these disgusting animals to get off my sister. But all I could hear was Jane screaming in terror. I ran through the tunnel separating the 2 platforms and sprinted down the stairs until I could see the 2 men, one on top of my sister and the other just standing there, watching with a vile, inhuman grin on his face. I'm 6'3", fit and strong, but I'm a gentle guy who gets upset if I kill a fly. But when I was confronted by what I saw on that platform, I lost it. I mean, totally lost it. My recollection of what happened next is a little hazy, but I remember one of the men running away up the stairs as I shouted after him. The other man who was on top of my sister tried to run off, but his foot got caught in Jane's handbag, which gave me enough time to grab him and wrestle him to the ground. He had a knife and swiped at me with it, cutting my face and arm. But I fought with every ounce of my being. It was truly life or death. I went completely crazy, screaming at this man as we fought on the platform. I punched him as hard as I could, again and again and again. I kept on punching him. I was out of control. I couldn't stop. Eventually, some people who heard the screaming and shouting ran over towards us and dragged me away from the man as he lay on the floor, nose broken and blood pouring from his face. I looked over at Jane, who was lying motionless on the floor. I checked her pulse. She wasn't breathing. I'd taken a first aid course 2 years before, and this was the ultimate test of my memory. I frantically performed CPR on Jane, hands clasped, crying for her to wake up. Nothing. I smacked her chest like a crazed gorilla. Still, nothing. I then performed mouth-to-mouth, and after what felt like an eternity, she sprang back to life, gasping for air. It was the biggest feeling of relief I've ever felt in my entire life. I collapsed to the floor, covered in blood, as the unconscious, bashed up and barely alive attacker lay next to us, groaning in deserved pain, while a small crowd of stunned onlookers stared at us in shock and disbelief. It was a terrifying night. But here's the thing. This traumatic experience, and ultimately my sister's heart attack, set me on a path to discovering a bizarre and little-known weight loss secret given to me by a former medical student from a prestigious medical school that would ultimately allow her to shed 35 pounds of weight in just 33 days, transform her health, and save her life. After the attack, the ambulance rushed my sister to the hospital, where we discovered just how much of a ticking time bomb she really was. After a few days in intensive care where Jane recovered and I answered questions from the police, we finally received the test results, which gave us a window into Jane's health. It wasn't good. Jane's vital organs were surrounded in dangerous and life-threatening visceral fat, the worst kind of fat that you can have, but undetectable without an MRI scan. But not only that, Jane had a potentially fatal amount of plaque building up inside her coronary arteries, which had been restricting the supply of oxygenated blood to her heart. And incredibly, she'd also suffered 2 mini-strokes, or transient ischemic attacks, which she hadn't even been aware of before she described her symptoms. And if all that wasn't worrying enough, she was also suffering from pre-diabetes and high blood pressure. According to Jane, the only condition she knew about was her high blood pressure, and she'd been taking medication for almost 12 months, which had done nothing except saddle her with horrible side effects like nausea, sickness, and fatigue. Jane was told if she didn't lose at least 25 pounds to take the strain off her heart, she'd be dead inside 6 months. I couldn't believe it, and neither could Jane. Admittedly, she was overweight, but 6 months to live? It was crazy. The statement sent shockwaves through the room. Her 2 daughters, my nieces, Alex and Sarah, were beside Jane's bed holding their mother's hand. Alex looked up at her mom with tears in her eyes and said, "Mommy, are you going to die?" It was heartbreaking to see, and all of us broke down in tears right there in front of the rest of the staff. Now, the reason I'm telling you this isn't because I want you to feel sorry for my sister or her children. I'm telling you this because you need to understand how quickly your life can be taken from you if you don't do anything to change things. Jane thought she was okay. It's just a bit of high blood pressure, she said to herself. It's just a bit of breathlessness. But underneath, she was a ticking time bomb just waiting to go off. Any day could have been her last, and that night at the train station was almost dead. Jane was absolutely terrified that her eating habits and lifestyle might mean she'd never get the chance to see her children go to college, get married, or have children themselves. The thought ripped her apart inside. Over the next few days, Jane was advised to get her affairs in order, notify her family, and arrange who would take care of her 2 daughters if she suffered another heart attack or a stroke, which was the wake-up call she needed. As her brother and a personal trainer and certified nutritionist, I felt guilty that my own sister had ended up like this, and I swore I'd do everything in my power to help her lose weight. So I sat down with Jane and we talked about what we needed to do to get her weight down quickly and healthily. Despite me telling her not to, Jane told me that during the previous years, she'd been on a whole bunch of hyped-up weight loss programs. Apparently, when she started on these programs, she was 182 pounds, but when she was weighed at the hospital, she weighed 280 pounds. As well as being diagnosed with pre-diabetes, high blood pressure, and still suffering from 2 mini-strokes and almost fatal heart attack. Amazing, isn't it? Instead of helping her to lose weight and improve her health, these scam diets had actually made her balloon in weight by as much as 100 pounds and literally destroyed her body. How is that even possible, you might ask? Well, get a pen and paper, because now I'm going to reveal the 3 sinister lies spreading around the weight loss community like wildfire. Lie number 1, low-calorie foods are the key to weight loss. This is complete and utter garbage, and any nutritionist you speak to will tell you the same thing. But the marketing departments of the big food companies and practically all of the leading weight loss programs are built around this obsession with limiting calories. I told Jane that this is because cutting calories works in the short term, and that's all they care about, because that way you think it's working. I revealed that what they fail to tell you and don't care about is that dramatically cutting your calorie intake will force your metabolism to slow down and stop burning fat for energy. Why? Because it thinks you're starving yourself, so it clings onto your fat reserves as a survival mechanism. It's a basic evolutionary response to potential famine. But the problem is, as soon as you start feasting again, which everyone does when they lose weight because starvation diets are horrible, the initial weight you lose not only piles back on, but you gain even more fat because your body is now protecting you from potential starvation. This is why low-calorie starvation diets produce yo-yo dieting, and it benefits the weight loss companies because you keep coming back. The truth? The real secret to healthy and long-term weight loss has absolutely nothing to do with calories. In fact, you can eat as much food as you want, but it has to be the right food. And I'll be revealing exactly what those foods are, which will allow you to boost your metabolism and turn your body into a fat-burning furnace in a few short weeks from now. Lie number 2, you need to eat low-fat foods. This is another massive lie spreading across the weight loss community. So how did it happen? Well, back in the 60s and 70s, scientists discovered that some fats were bad for our health. But unfortunately, the facts got skewed and the American people took it to mean all fats. So they started demanding low-fat and fat-free foods. And the food companies listened because it was a brand new and potentially lucrative market for them to exploit. But the truth is, not all fat is bad for us. In fact, it's the body's preferred source of fuel, and essential fats are absolutely crucial to your overall health. Heck, our brain alone is at least 60% fat. But here's the thing. In order to make their foods fat-free, the food manufacturers had to remove all of the fat, including the good fats too. But guess what? Removing all the fat made their foods taste horrible, so they packed them full of sugar instead. And yep, you guessed it, sugar makes you fat. In fact, it's the #1 reason for America's obesity epidemic and the prime culprit behind the alarming rise in metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and many forms of cancer. Sugar is nutritionally redundant and toxic to the human body, so all you can do with it is either burn it for energy or store it as fat. So whenever you eat low-fat or fat-free foods, all you're doing is filling your body with excess sugar, which your body then turns into fat, adding unsightly flab to your belly, thighs, arms, and butt, which, wait for it, causes you to go out and buy more low-fat foods. It's a vicious cycle that keeps you trapped in a permanent state of weight gain. And this is exactly what happened to my sister Jane. The truth? Because they're crammed full of sugar, low-fat and fat-free foods are often more fattening than the original full-fat natural product. But don't worry, because a little later, I'll be revealing the tasty and 100% natural foods that will allow you to shave off pounds of unsightly flab, so stick around. Lie number 3, try sugar-free foods. The American people are now getting wise to the fact that sugar leads to weight gain. So you may have noticed a lot of food manufacturers and weight loss companies are creating and selling sugar-free foods. But of course, products without sugar taste like crap. So to make them taste sweet, they use artificial sweeteners formulated in a lab. But the problem is, artificial sweeteners like Equal, NutraSweet, and Sweet and Low are packed full of unnatural and toxic chemicals and have been shown to actually increase weight gain by triggering the brain to crave more sweet foods. And even worse, artificial sweeteners have been plagued with clinical studies showing an increased risk of cancer. The truth, just like fat-free foods, sugar-free foods trap you in a never-ending cycle where you put on weight and then buy foods with artificial sweeteners to fix it, which causes you to put on more weight. Again, this is exactly what happened to Jane. During our chat, we also discussed Jane's daily diet, and I discovered that despite thinking she was eating a healthy breakfast every morning, in reality, she was piling on even more pounds without even realizing it. In fact, I quickly let her know that she was regularly eating the 3 most common breakfast foods that actually make you fat. The first one was breakfast cereal. Although they claim to be healthy, Heavily processed cereals are normally packed full of sugar and refined carbs, which lead to a spike in blood sugar and insulin levels, followed by a crash an hour or two later, which leaves you starving hungry and craving another snack high in refined carbs. The second breakfast food that I told her was making her fat was fruit juice. We're told that they're healthy, but in reality, they're often nothing more than flavored water, crammed full of sugar and some chemicals that taste like fruit. And even if you're lucky enough to find a fruit juice with real fruit in it, the sugar content is actually pretty similar to fizzy drinks like Coca-Cola. The third supposed healthy breakfast food to avoid is whole wheat bread. This is one of the biggest lies that Americans have been swallowing every day for years. You'd think that whole wheat was made from actual whole grains, right? Well, it isn't. Almost without exception, the grains have been pulverized into very fine flour that will spike your blood sugar just as fast as regular white bread, leaving you craving sugary, starchy foods later in the morning. Jane also told me that the weight loss program she'd been on had advertised eating lots of potatoes because they were low in fat. But according to a recent study into long-term weight gain published in the New England Journal of Medicine, despite being a vegetable, potatoes came out as the #1 food making us fat. Incredible, right? According to the study, all forms were fattening, with every serving of potatoes adding on almost 1.3 pounds, while an extra serving of potato chips led to a gain of almost 1.7 pounds. And every serving of fries in a day added on a whopping 3.3 pounds. My sister Jane was eating low-calorie, low-fat, and sugar-free food every day, and eating a supposed healthy breakfast, thinking that she was being smart, when in reality, it was making her fatter and fatter, wrecking her health, and sending her hurtling towards an early grave. I could tell Jane straight off what she was doing was wrong, but truthfully, I wasn't 100% sure what she should do next. If it wasn't for a chance meeting with a disgraced medical student from Hyderabad, India, who as luck would have it, was sat in the hospital cubicle opposite ours in the days following Jane's heart attack. He was called Ajit, and he was in Connecticut visiting his sick mother. After having lunch at the canteen, Ajit came over to talk to me. He said that he had heard what they had said to my sister, and that he wanted to help. What followed was the most eye-opening 30 minutes of my life, where I was literally handed the secret to rapid weight loss. Ajit explained that for 3 years, he'd been studying at the Nizam Institute of Medical Sciences in Hyderabad, where he'd been working on a breakthrough theory for obliterating fat from the human body and stimulating weight loss. During his research, he'd discovered a specific combination of herbs, spices, plant extracts, minerals, and vitamins that had produced phenomenal reductions in weight amongst his trial subjects. After a few weeks, Ajit couldn't keep his findings to himself any longer and began to test out his new program on friends and family who all experienced rapid weight loss and dramatic improvements in their health and well-being. Within weeks, fat melted away. Blood pressure fell back to normal, healthy levels. Blood sugar stabilized, energy levels went through the roof, and chronic inflammation vanished. The results were mind-blowing. Eventually, the institute found out about Ajit's secret trials and he was fired and thrown out of the building in disgrace, but not before he'd written down his entire program in his notebook. Over the next few months, Ajit explained that he tried to publicize his research, but he didn't have the money nor the knowledge on how to do it. I sat there across the table speechless, with my mouth wide open in shock as Ajit told his story. And then he hit me with it. "I want to give my research to your sister," Ajit said. "I know it will help her lose weight, and it could save her life." I knew a lot about weight loss, and I thought I had the knowledge to help my sister on her own. But there was no way I was going to turn down Ajit's offer if what he was telling me was even remotely true. The next day, I met up with Ajit at the hospital, and he carefully handed me his secret notebook, packed full to the brim with powerful and completely natural weight loss secrets. Everything was there. The exact superfoods that Ajit had discovered during his studies, every ingredient, combination, and amount required to burn fat quickly, safely, and 100% naturally were laid out, with detailed meal plans for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as snacks and drinks. I was also shown which supplements to take, how many, and exactly when you should take them in order to maximize their efficiency. It was incredible. Ajit looked at me with a raised brow, said in a quiet and almost threatening voice, "You didn't get this from me. Do you understand? This conversation never happened, okay?" "Of course, I understand," I replied. Ajit seemed scared, like he was handing over a precious 1,000-year-old relic for safekeeping. It all seemed really strange, and to be honest, I was a little skeptical that his program could actually work. So as soon as I got home, I started doing some digging, looking into his research. In one of his trials, he'd given his subjects cumin, which he'd claimed had produced rapid weight loss. I wanted to see if what Ajit told me might be true, so I poured through medical journals and published studies looking for something similar. And there it was. A study carried out at the University of Medical Sciences in Iran in 2014 found that just a daily teaspoon of cumin helps subjects lose 3 times more fat than those who weren't taking the spice. According to the study, in just 12 weeks, members of the cumin group decreased body fat percentages by a whopping 14.64%, almost triple the 4.91% loss posted by the control group, and saw larger reductions in body mass index and waist circumference. Those in the cumin group also experienced reduced levels of fascinating cholesterol, triglycerides, and LDL, or bad cholesterol, while their high levels of HDL, or good cholesterol, increased. On another page of his notebook, Ajit talked about how turmeric had produced remarkable levels of weight loss, and again, I found proof in a variety of published journals just sitting there, being ignored by the world. According to the studies, curcumin, which is the active ingredient found in turmeric, reduces the formation of the fat tissue by suppressing the blood vessels needed to form it. As the researchers stated, our results clearly demonstrate that curcumin at cellular and whole organism levels displays remarkable potential health benefits for prevention of obesity and associated metabolic disorders. Ajit also talked about the fat-burning powers of capsaicin found in cayenne pepper. And again, I found a recent study carried out at the Department of Biotechnology at Daegu University in Korea, which concluded that capsaicin was able to fight obesity by decreasing calorie intake, shrinking fat tissue, and lowering blood fat levels, as well as fighting fat buildup by triggering beneficial protein changes in the body. And there were dozens more completely natural herbs, spices, plant extracts, minerals, and vitamins inside Ajit's notebook, complete with precise amounts and specific combinations that had been scientifically proven to obliterate fat and produce rapid and healthy weight loss in men and women of all sizes and ages, as well as powerful lifestyle tips and tricks that had been shown to burn even more fat. None of the ingredients were expensive, nor was it hard work. The more I looked into Ajit's research, the more I was convinced that what I was holding in my hand was the holy grail of weight loss, the perfect combination of natural ingredients in the optimum amounts. I scooped up the notebook and sprinted over to Jane's house feeling as excited as a little kid on Christmas morning. Like me, Jane was skeptical about Ajit's story, but she was determined to try anything. After all, nothing else she tried had worked, so she had nothing to lose. Over the next few days, I stayed with Jane and the girls to make sure that she was following the program properly and not skipping anything. The first few days passed and we noticed no significant changes in weight or health. Day 4, 5, and 6 went by, still no improvement. Our excitement and expectation was beginning to fade, and I was starting to doubt everything that Ajit had told me. But then, on day 7, something incredible started to happen. For this part of the story, I want to quickly hand you over to Jane because the dramatic changes that occurred over the next few weeks happened to her, so I thought it would be best if she did the talking. So Jane, over to you.
Thank you, Joseph, and hello everyone. I understand that Joseph has already told you about the night I had my heart attack, thanks to the many wasted years I spent on some of the biggest and most famous weight loss programs in America that did nothing except make me even fatter and destroy my health even further. Well, thankfully, Ajit's program was the miracle I'd been searching for. And to be brutally honest, it saved my life. There's a high chance I wouldn't be here talking to you today if it wasn't for the chance meeting between my brother, Joseph, and Ajit outside my hospital room. The day everything changed was a crisp Sunday morning in December, and I remember it like it was yesterday. Normally, I would wake up in the morning feeling sluggish and tired, like I had a hangover. But on this particular morning, I woke up and immediately felt different. My eyes felt brighter, my head felt clearer, and I jumped out of bed like I was a kid again. I felt so much more energetic and ran straight to the bathroom and leapt on the scales, which had been my mortal enemy for well over a decade. But today, they were my best friend. I'd lost a pound. Sure, it wasn't anything to write home about, but it was a start. And then things really began to change. Over the next 3 weeks, the rapid weight loss I witnessed was extraordinary, and the improvement in my health was dramatic. I couldn't believe what was happening, and had to literally pinch myself each morning because I didn't believe it was happening. In the space of just 33 days, I lost exactly 35 pounds. My children, Sarah and Alex, couldn't believe what they were seeing either. And they were so happy to see their mom looking well again, enjoying life and healthy for the first time in years. I went to visit our dad that week. No doubt he expected to see a 280-pound whale waddle into the room again, because the look on his face when he saw me will stay with me for a long time. You know those old cartoons when someone's mouth drops wide open in shock? Well, that was him. He literally couldn't believe his eyes. He revealed that he'd never seen such a dramatic drop in weight and was initially worried until he saw how healthy and full of life I looked. My results were extraordinary. My heart had rebounded back to life and was now as strong and healthy as a woman in her 20s. My fasting cholesterol, triglycerides, and LDL cholesterol levels had fallen dramatically, back to healthy levels, while my HDL, or good cholesterol reading, had increased hugely. Just a few weeks before, I was on the edge of being diagnosed with full-blown type 2 diabetes, but my blood sugar levels had fallen dramatically and were now showing as a safe and perfectly healthy 112. And my blood pressure had dropped from 190 over 140 to 125 over 80 in just 33 days. It was nothing short of a miracle. He took one look at me and said he'd never seen anything like it. My daughter Alex then tugged me by the arm, looked me straight in the eyes and said, "Does this mean you're not going to die now, Mommy?" I wanted to say no straight away, but looked at my dad for some reassurance. He knelt down and said to Alex, "No, darling, your mommy's not going to die. In fact, she's a very healthy mommy, and you should be very proud." "I am," said Alex. The moment brought a tear to my eye. To hear my own stubborn father say I was a very healthy person, that he was proud of me, and to see his shocked expression when he saw how much weight I'd lost was an incredible feeling. But my progress didn't stop there. Over the next few months, I continued to follow Ajit's program, and the weight continued to fall off. All of the health problems I'd previously suffered from vanished, and I now have the energy levels of a teenager. Every day I thank God that Ajit was there that day, sitting with his mother in the hospital cubicle opposite mine, because if he hadn't been, I honestly don't think I'd still be here today. And all of the people that Joseph has helped since would still be struggling with their weight, feeling miserable, fatigued, depressed, and wasting their money on weight loss fads. Which brings us back to Joseph. You see, being the kind of man Joseph is, he wasn't satisfied at simply transforming my life. He wanted to transform the lives of as many people as possible, all over America and the world. So now I'm going to hand you back to Joseph to continue this remarkable story.
Thanks, Jane, and hello again to everyone. After Jane had experienced such dramatic results, her friends and the rest of our family were desperate to know what her secret was, and if she was on some kind of experimental medication or diet. I wanted to share Ajit's program with them, as I couldn't in good conscience keep it limited to Jane and myself. It wouldn't be right when there were hundreds of millions of people suffering all over the country, and I had a proven system that would allow them to shave off pounds of unsightly fat from their bellies, thighs, arms, and butt, transform their health, and potentially add years or even decades to their lives. So I contacted Ajit for permission to use his research on our friends and family, and thankfully he agreed. For the next few months, dozens of our closest friends and family members experienced similarly remarkable weight loss results and dramatic improvements in their health. The next step was to share the program with my personal training clients. At the time, I had only 22 loyal clients, but as word spread, I was bombarded with calls and emails from people wanting to join my program. Within the space of just 30 days, my list of clients had grown to 130, and 30 days after that, it was 215. These were everyday men and women, and even children who had practically given up hope of ever getting the slim and toned physique they'd always wanted. But now they were burning through pounds of fat like a runaway train, revitalizing their health and boosting their energy levels in the process. Thanks to social media, my program soon went viral, and suddenly there were thousands of people from all over the country pleading with me to join my program. And that's when it hit me. It was too big for me to handle. There were people contacting me not only from all over America, but from countries like Australia, South Africa, Canada, England, and many more, all begging me to put my program online. So that's exactly what I did. With Ajit's help, I worked solidly for 9 weeks to turn his original weight loss plan into a comprehensive step-by-step and easy-to-follow system for obliterating fat and turning the human body into a fat-burning furnace, 100% naturally from the comfort of your own home. And we called it Fat Obliterator, the 100% natural way to obliterate fat from home. In this comprehensive and step-by-step program, you will be given everything you need to melt away pounds of unwanted and life-threatening fat stores from your body. And what's more, you can do it from the comfort of your own home, 100% naturally and safely, and without the need for any expensive drugs, dangerous surgery, or back-breaking workout routines. You'll be shown Ajit's exact plan, exactly what ingredients to eat, how often, and how to combine them to create maximum fat-busting results. And you'll also receive a wide variety of delicious recipes, meal plans, and smoothies packed full of these miracle fat-obliterating ingredients, so you literally don't need to do any work at all. This is the exact same program that enabled my sister Jane to drop 35 pounds in just 33 days and completely transform her health. And it's the same program that thousands of my clients have been using to melt pounds of fat easily, quickly, and safely. In the Fat Obliterator Guide, you will also discover the everyday food scientifically proven to curb hunger and burn more fat. In one study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, a simple increase in this particular food from 15% to 30% of overall calories resulted in overweight women consuming 441 fewer calories each day. What's more, a 12-month study of over 130 overweight people published in the Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism found that the group consuming more of this particular food lost 53% more body fat than the control group, despite consuming the same amount of calories. While another study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that subjects consuming more of this food burned an amazing 260 more calories each day than the control group. That's the same as 60 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per day. You'll also discover how an everyday breakfast food that cost no more than a few pennies enabled subjects to lose more than 5 times more weight than the placebo group over a 12-week period, according to a study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food. Plus, I'll also reveal the little-known mineral that shrinks fat cells. Research at the University of Texas found that adding this mineral to your daily diet can help you significantly boost fat loss without losing muscle. But that's just for starters. Think that high-fat food leads to weight gain? Think again. As I said earlier, low-fat food is your enemy, despite what the media tell you. And bizarrely, food high in fat are often your best friend in the fight against the flab. In a study published in the European Journal of Nutrition, scientists were shocked to discover that people who ate this famously high-fat product were actually the least likely to become obese. And in the Fat Obliterator Guide, I'll be revealing exactly what it is, as well as every other natural fat-fighting ingredient that you can pick up for next to nothing at your local grocery store. But there's more. How would you like to take all the great weight loss results you've just heard about and double them? That's what happens when you add 2 simple nutrients to your diet each day, which are found in abundance in one simple and easily accessible food. According to a Nutrition Journal study, after just 4 weeks of a 12-week experiment, subjects who ate this food lost 2 times more fat than the control group. And you'll also discover how to rev up your metabolism and burn more fat by sipping a cheap and tasty Chinese drink every day. Incredibly, a 6-week Chinese study found that participants who regularly sipped this brew lost a pound a week. But as well as all that, I'll also be revealing Ajit's most powerful and effective lifestyle secrets that will torch fat in no time, including something you can do while watching the TV that will burn an extra 270 calories a day. A bizarre 30-second trick you can do in the shower that will speed up fat loss by turbocharging your metabolism. And a little-known breathing technique that will instantly lower your cortisol levels, the stress hormone which has been scientifically proven to make weight loss virtually impossible. And believe me, those aren't even the headline acts. When people follow this exact program, eat all of these miracle fat-fighting ingredients in the right combinations, and follow these simple lifestyle tips, the weight literally just falls off. I've seen it with my own eyes again and again. And if you're thinking that this sounds like hard work, don't worry. The great thing about this program is that there's no need to completely change your diet, starve yourself, or add any crazy workouts to your daily routine. All you need to do is simply add a small selection of inexpensive natural ingredients to your daily meals, which you can pick up from your local grocery store for no more than a few dollars, and implement some very simple and incredibly quick changes to your lifestyle. That's literally all it takes to start burning fat and transforming your health, energy, and vitality levels in a few short weeks. And just imagine how that would feel. Imagine the feeling you'll have when the weight starts falling off and you can fit into the jeans you haven't worn in years. Imagine no longer feeling shame and self-hatred whenever you take off your shirt or pants and look in the mirror. Imagine the look on your friends' and family's faces, or maybe even your ex, when they see the new streamlined, sexy you. Imagine no longer having to waste money on horrible starvation diets. Watch everything you eat, or deny yourself your favorite foods. And imagine the feeling you'll have when you know that with every mouthful you consume, you're dramatically reducing your risk of succumbing to any number of deadly health conditions like high blood pressure, stroke, heart failure, aneurysms, type 2 diabetes, multiple forms of cancer, while adding years to your life expectancy as a result, which will mean you'll be able to spend quality time with your children and watch your grandchildren grow up, get married, and have kids of their own. Thousands of men and women all over the world are doing exactly that right now, thanks to this program. People like Susan Wood of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, who lost a ridiculous 38 pounds in less than 2 months. And then there's Nathaniel Baker of Austin, Texas, who in just 46 days went from 290 pounds to 212. And Lainey Patterson of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who lost 27 pounds and has never felt better. Believe me, I've literally thousands more emails and letters just like that from people all over the world who have used this program to melt away unwanted fat and boost their health and well-being in a matter of days. And because of that, I originally thought about charging as much as $597 for this program. After all, each one of the ingredients is clinically proven to burn fat and help you lose inches. So just imagine the result you could achieve when all of these ingredients are combined together in the perfect quantities and consumed every day. And what's more, just imagine how much money you'll be saving by tackling your weight issues now. You won't have to spend any more money on fad diets, bizarre weight loss contraptions, and the inevitable medication, surgery, and other hospital bills that you'll be saddled with when you succumb to the variety of health conditions brought about by excess weight. So with all that in mind, I think it's pretty clear just how much of a bargain $597 is for a proven treatment that actually works and is 100% natural. But here's the thing. There's no way I'm going to ask you to pay $597 because I didn't create this website to make money. That was literally the last thing on my mind when I started on this journey. I haven't forgotten how traumatic and terrifying it was to watch my sister almost die in my arms because her heart was so weak and clogged by fat that it couldn't take the stress of that attack at the train station. I still remember staring at Jane in that hospital bed with all those tubes sticking out of her, tears streaming down my face, promising myself that I would do everything I could to help her. I've been able to help so many people with my Fat Obliterator program, and I'm enormously proud of that. But I don't want to stop now. I want to help you and millions more just like you. So I'm not going to ask for anything like $597, even though that's still well short of what this program is actually worth. In fact, I'm not even going to ask for half that or 1/10 of that for that matter. Instead, you can get the entire Fat Obliterator system, complete with the natural ingredients list, instructions for combining them, the recipes, meal plans, smoothies, lifestyle tips, and everything else for a one-time payment of just $37, which is just enough to cover my costs. And all you need to do is click on the Add to Cart button below. Once you've done that, you will be sent through our secure checkout page where you will need to input your details and order the program. Your order is 100% secure and safe. You will then be instantly directed through our exclusive members area where you will be able to download the entire program straight to your PC, laptop, cell phone, or tablet in next to no time. And if you're still feeling a little skeptical about everything you've just seen, I totally understand. So to put your mind at rest, your order comes with a no-nonsense 60-day money-back guarantee. This means that right now, all you need to do is say, maybe, and you can then take a full 2 months to put my weight loss program to the test in the comfort of your own home. You can try out all of the ingredients, recipes, meal plans, smoothies, and lifestyle tips, and if you don't experience dramatic weight loss and a massive improvement in your overall health and well-being, then simply email me at the address provided in the members area, and I'll refund every cent of your investment with no questions asked. All the risk is on me, so you literally have nothing to lose by ordering today. So hit Add to Cart below this video to accept this $37 price with my rock-solid 60-day money-back guarantee. But don't order just yet, because I want to give you 3 fast action bonuses absolutely free to ensure that you get the best possible results imaginable. So when you order your Fat Obliterator today, you will also receive my brand new ebook called 7 Fat Busting Supplements. Here I reveal the 7 most powerful and 100% safe supplements scientifically proven to supercharge your metabolism, kick your fat burning into high gear, and accelerate your weight loss, including one cheap and accessible supplement that has helped subjects lose a massive 5.4 more pounds than the control group in a double-blind placebo-controlled trial published in the Diabetes, Metabolic Syndrome, and Obesity Journal. But it's not just about weight loss. You'll also receive Ajit's Energy Boosting Formula, which contains 17 of the most energizing and 100% natural foods on the planet that will give you sustained all-day energy without the crash, including one well-known plant extract that was scientifically proven to reduce fatigue in 2 separate clinical studies in South Korea and Brazil. And hey, once you've trimmed down and are full of energy and vitality and proud of your body again, what better way to celebrate than in the bedroom with the Sex Drive Stimulator? You and your wife, husband, or partner will be able to enjoy maximum satisfaction between the sheets thanks to these 10 powerful and 100% natural aphrodisiacs, including one weird ingredient clinically proven to turbocharge both the male and female sex drives. So just to remind you, when you hit add to cart below and order today, you're getting the entire Fat Obliterator system plus your 3 free bonuses, and you'll receive everything within 2 minutes straight into your inbox. But you need to act fast. Obesity rates are at record levels and climbing every day. And this means bigger and bigger profits for the industry and for big pharma, who make billions from a variety of different drugs created to treat weight-related health conditions like hypertension, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, gallbladder disease, osteoarthritis, gout, asthma, cancer, and many more. So it's pretty clear that from a health and well-being point of view, you need this program. But what about a financial point of view? Well, let me answer that question for you by showing you the astonishing cost that will come your way if you are overweight and don't do anything about it. According to the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which is the National Public Health Institute of the United States, if you're overweight, you'll pay $1,429 a year more in medical costs. And that's not all. According to personal finance expert Carmen Wong Ulrich in her book, The Real Cost of Living, when you add together the higher annual costs of healthcare and medication, $1,429, wage discrimination, $2,500, as well as other lifestyle costs like clothing, travel, and food bills, the cost of being overweight comes to $6,454 a year, or an extra $538 a month. For over 40 years, that works out to a whopping $258,000. So, doing nothing is going to cost you a lot over the next few years, both financially and in terms of your health. And believe me, this isn't me trying to scare you. This is the reality if you choose to ignore your weight any longer. So right now, you need to make a choice. And as far as I see it, you have 3 options. 1, you can leave this page saying, "No thanks, Joseph," and do nothing. But by doing this, you'll be possibly cutting your life shorter because uncontrolled weight gain is a killer. And as you've seen, it's going to cost you a fortune over the next few years. 2, you can choose to put your health and your life in the hands of hyped up weight loss programs. These companies spend hundreds of millions on marketing rather than their actual products. But as I mentioned earlier in the video, they're founded on low-calorie starvation diets that are impossible to stick to and lead to inevitable yo-yo dieting, which conveniently keeps you coming back for more. Not to mention supplying you with garbage, fat-free, and sugar-free foods that are nutritionally redundant, toxic to the human body, and actually increase your cravings. Or there's option 3, which is the opportunity to learn from your past mistakes and try something different. Something 100% natural and scientifically proven to work, which has already been used successfully by 47,763 men and women who have achieved spectacular results in weeks. So for the sake of your health, well-being, happiness, and your bank balance, and for the sake of your loved ones, make the right decision. Press the Add to Cart button below and put my Fat Obliterator system to the test for a full 60 days, completely risk-free. And don't forget, I'll even let you keep the entire product and the 3 bonuses just to say thanks for giving it a try. So you have absolutely nothing to lose. This has been Joseph Rosa, and I look forward to hearing your success stories very soon. Hit Add to Cart below, and I'll see you on the inside. Still here? No problem. I totally understand. You may be feeling a little skeptical about everything you've just heard. So to help clear a few things up for you, here are some of the most common questions that I get asked, which I hope will give you all the information you need. The most common question I probably get asked is, how does it work? Well, to put it simply, Fat Obliterator is a system that tackles weight gain from all angles. This packed guide not only contains Ajit's most powerful fat-melting natural ingredients, including the herbs, spices, plant extracts, vitamins, and minerals, and all the foods to find them in, but you will also receive the exact combinations and amounts of each ingredients complete with the meal plans and recipes. When eaten on their own, small results will be achieved. But when eaten together, in the exact amounts and combinations for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the fat-burning results you will witness will be miraculous. And you can speed up those results even more with Ajit's simple and easy-to-follow lifestyle tips and tricks, which will make it literally impossible for you not to lose weight. I also get a lot of emails from men saying, "Will this work for me?" And then they list their individual circumstances, age, weight, medical history, and things like that. My answer is always the same. We are all human beings, and we all function the same way. Of course, this program won't achieve the exact same results for everyone because you will be of a different weight to someone else to begin with and may have different medical conditions, and you may choose to exercise, although as you'll discover in the program, you don't need to if you don't want to. So while I won't categorically promise you that you'll lose weight, almost 48,000 other people say that you will, and I haven't received a single email or letter from anyone who hasn't been blown away by the results they've achieved. And that leads me to another question that I often get asked. Will I get my money back if it doesn't work? And the answer is yes, absolutely. As I said, this weight loss program has already worked for almost 48,000 people, but I completely understand if you have your doubts, which is why your order comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. If you don't achieve the results you want or simply change your mind for any reason at all, then all you need to do is email me at the address provided in the members area, and then I will issue you with a full and prompt refund. And that's a promise. And you can even keep the entire product and the 3 bonuses just to say thanks for giving it a try. So if you want a proven 100% natural way to burn fat, lose weight, and look and feel better than you have in years, I urge you to act now. And don't forget, your order is backed by a 60-day money-back guarantee, so there's absolutely no risk to you. To get started, simply click the Add to Cart button below, and I'll see you on the inside.